What's going on, guys? My name is Commander, and welcome to this week's League Center for February 15th, 2020. We have Zorse, coach of CmdrYT FC, joining us at the end of the episode. We have some leagues to cover. Not a whole lot of leagues. We got like 6 replays. It was a pretty active week, especially UDL because this is week 10 and a lot of things matter. And we'll cover some other things and some things even that the Discord is coming up with. And remember, if you want to join the Discord, links down below. It's a great way to advertise leagues. If you want something on League Center, you literally there's a channel for that. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into things. UDL Season 8 Week 10, the playoffs are set. There's a lot of really cool scenarios that could have happened. Let me run them down. 27, aka Hockey, could have made the playoffs if JJ lost. And this was before JJ did his match. So let's say JJ loses. 27 could have made the playoffs. He loses to Nacho. We'll see that replay. Frito could have made the playoffs. He loses to Belgium, who was 2-7 at the time. Gets kicked out of the playoffs. Yellow Draco could have made the playoffs. Loses to Shuno. Jay did make the playoffs because he beat Pry. Only reason. If he lost like 4-0 to Pry, Yellow Draco would have made the playoffs. Wow. A lot of things went wrong for people, but your playoffs are set. Zorse being the number 1 seed in the entire league, 9-1 plus 27. Daddy for Sword Conference is the other bye, 9-1 plus 26. You have Cookie beats Pry and Jay, rounding off your Sword Conference. And then for Shield Conference, Pip and Avon was the bias. Divinity, Knight, Derp, and JJ will be your other coaches. And we'll be seeing Pip hopefully soon. I'm hoping he sticks in this. He's planned to be in the semifinals. If at the very beginning of the season I did it to where it was Pip and Knight versus Cookie and Pry. I don't think Pry's going to live up to that. I think it's going to be Zorse and Cookie now. And I like the idea still of Pip and Knight. But we'll move on from there. There's a lot of UDL replays. We get to see all the action. PSR, Pokemon Speedrunners Draft League, Week 3. Continental Conference. 1 undefeated team right now after Sylveon KC bopped the Tampa Bay Sawsbucks. If you didn't watch that video, it was last Tuesday. You should go check it out. Or was it last Tuesday? I think it was last Tuesday. I still haven't done my matches. Both my matches for the leagues I'm in are tomorrow. After Continental Conference, it's Island Conference. There is 1 undefeated team, and that is the North Florida Knights. Pain in the butt with Flanders Z's. Should have lost a game. I think we covered that last week. But Slim Shady is who I'm facing this week. That's a scary match. We'll find out. You'll find out Thursday or Tuesday how that match goes, because Thursday is VDL. After week 2, there are 3 undefeated teams. New York Cosmogs, Sylveon KC, and Roman Polions. Should be interesting how it all settles out for the VDL. I believe we do have a No, I think we actually have a VDL replay this week to even go over. And then Nepples, Nacho's letting us cover Season 6. For the playoffs, he sent me this beautiful graphic that I definitely couldn't have done. Hong Kong Jardigans facing Tails. Tails doesn't have a team because Tails relocates twice a season. New Mexico Lotads versus Scrappy in the Texas Rain Dance. Third Raikou taking on Greggy's Galagarian Girls. And then Daddy in the Maryland Tapachurikins taking on Techno, and the Carolina Dream Eaters. Will be covering Nepples more next week, as you'll find out for reasons why at the end of this video. And then something that I said I'd cover, and we are going to cover. I'm going to pull up my little graphic for it, if I can figure out where I put my graphics. Here we go. So we got the Fantasy Pokemon Entertainment, I'm going to say, honestly, division, doing some APA. And so I'm going to do a little explanation of what was given to me. There will be links to everything you see there is literally going to be in the description, along with the League Center Discord, along with other things. But what is fantasy Pokemon? It is basically take fantasy football and apply it to Pokemon, but it's also like drafting every single week because you draft Pokemon, put them on a team, decide how well they do that week. It doesn't have to be like I would do, for example. So if Sylveon KC's St. Louis weekends, if we're talking VDL, if I was doing a Pokemon or fantasy Pokemon entertainment, sort of like league for it. If I said, okay, 3 of Mop's Pokemon are going to do really well, and 3 of Commander's Pokemon are going to do really well, that can be my team, and I get points based on that. There's other stipulations. All that's going to be down in the description. Go check it out. Join the Discord if you want to talk to our good friend, Texas. He is from Texas. Thank the Lord. February 21st, so you still got like 6 or 7 days. And this is for the APA. APA I use way back in the day. Here's some 2017 news. I used to cover the APA on this show. Back when it was Rocketots, back when it's Corona Caterpie, all that. I used to cover the APA. And now there's a fantasy league for the APA. That's blows my mind. Shout out to Point Blank, wherever he is in life. And so if you want your league covered, if you want other Pokemon stuff covered, besides like maybe your league videos, I don't know. There's a Discord. Message me on Discord or join the League Center Discord. There's 3 of us right now. There's room for more. And so, with that being said, now we get to go into some replays. There's a lot of replays to cover. I'm terribly sorry. I tried to make these short, but UDL is just kicking some major butt. It's week 10, as I said. So without further ado, JJ's facing off against Kiori. This was the big match. Does JJ win this match? I mean, he's locked in at this point. I believe he can't. Like, he had his spot secure at this point, but if this match was any earlier, this would have been a really big game. And so you can see Kiori has 4 Pokemon. JJ has 4 Pokemon. Kiori's about ready to go ham here. So Fictitious ready to crit on Duralagon. Dragon Pulse is going to take out Dracovic. Next is going to come in the Hippowdon here. Sandstream's going to come up. Crit Dragon Pulse as Stealth Rocks is going to come up. And Dragon Pulse is going to take out the Hippowdon. Here comes in Gengar. This is a cool play by JJ here. Very tough luck for Kiori. Dragon Pulse is going to take out, disables Scarfed Dragon Pulse. Haxus is going to come in. This is a free D-Dance. BT Dubs, free D-Dance is going to be a switch into Aura Beetle. Yachi Berry for the Weavile. D-Dance is up. This is Ham. Crunch. Boop. Bye-bye. This is a switch into Chichino. Brick Break. Boop. By Shishino. Duralagon in here. This is Scarf. Boop. By Dragon Claw. And this was just kind of, okay, hoping for the best. Ice Shard. Yachi Berry. Yeah, lives perfectly fine. Brick Break. Boop. And JJ picking up a win in a reverse sweep because, you know, JJ coming, pulling things out of his butt. After that, we got more Duraludon action as Knight on the other side of the conference. Actually, same side of the conference. No, other side of the conference, I'm right. It's Kiori that had Duraludon. Knight's going to show off some really cool things. But it's Zorse. You just saw he's 9-1. He's already lost a game. How could he lose tonight? Well, he's not going to lose tonight. So Duraludon takes a lot. Flash Cannon does some damage. Psychic's going to take out Duraludon here. It's going to be a 3v2 game. Exegil comes in on a balloon. That doesn't really matter because Psychic's going to pop that balloon. And Earthquake's going to take out Chungus. And it's going to be Poltergeist versus Exegil, Braviary, and Rotom Wash. Rock Tomb's going to slow it down, throw on some weak armor, raise its speed. Shell Smash is coming out. That's a lot of stat boosts there. Switching to Rotom Wash for the Shadow Ball. I don't honestly understand that play, but more power to it as Braviary was going to come. Stored Power is going to take it out. And Excadrill is going to come, and Shadow Ball is going to take out the Excadrill. And another reverse sweep. Zorse picking up the win. Okay, I'm getting tired of these reverse sweeps. Oh, we're going to see some real sadness here. This is 27 versus Nacho. This is 27's game to potentially make the playoffs against Nacho, who's just kind of sitting here having fun. This is going to be really fast, so watch all the horrible things that happen to 27. Just like, so switch in, bulk up. I mean, nothing that 27 can do here. Hurricane. One Stone Edge miss. Another Scald. 2 Stone Edge misses. Hurricane going to take it out. So 2 Stone Edge misses. We're counting them. Roost fails on the Avalanche. Staying with Pelipper. Just staying in with Pelipper. Could have been a switch into anything else. Switch into Cinderace. It does a lot of damage for Avalanche. It's going to be switching Teleon to the Pyro Ball. Switch into Pelipper again. Nothing that Inceleon can do, but he's going to set up screens. And then Self-Destruct on the Metronome out of all moves. Scald's going to come out. It's going to burn, of course. Icicle Crash is going to take out Pelipper at least, but, I mean, Liquidation, losing some of its HP. This is going to be a switch here to the Flapple. On here, Sucker Punch, crit, kill. Into some neutralizing gas. It's going to be a switch. A Sludge Wave is going to take out Cinderace. Switch into Barracuda. Going to take out Barracuda. That was a weird double. Into Vikavolt. Switching. Thunderbolt. So it's Life Orb, Vikavolt. Bug Buzz is a good play by Nacho here. Weezing Galagarian. Thunderbolt. One shot. Flat one shot. Hex. Bug Buzz. Boop. And 27's hopes and dreams are crushed and kicked in the nuts, which kind of has been 27's season so far. We're going to move on to Yellow getting kicked in the nuts. Yellow Draco versus Shuno here. 4v4, not going to last much longer. Substitute's going to come out on a Fire Lash, which fades the sub. And Toxic, there goes Shuno. It's 4v3. Arctozolt, Bolt Break by Nice to Meet You. Into Rotom Wash, Bolt Break, nice. Hydro Pump misses. And that's where it's going to end off, because Bolt Break, Bolt Beak, boom. Here comes a Galagary and Darmanitan, Bolt Beak, boom. And Haxorus. I mean, Bolt Beak can't just break everything, right? Nope. Close combat, boop. I mean, how are you going to win from here? You got Excavalier, close combat. That doesn't do enough. In with the Iron Head. Yellow, that Hydro Pump just was super sad. But Shuno picking up the win. After this. So, back in week 5, I said Cookie would win this match. It is 3v6 right now. Cookie versus Avon. Week 10 UDL. Let's see what Cookie can do here. High Horsepower is going to do a lot of damage on the switch and on Chandelure. Overheat's going to take out the Girder. Remember, Chandelure's been kicking butt for Cookie. Go watch last week's interview for that. Into Unifescent on the double edge of all things. Okay. Air Cutter doesn't do enough, but the recoil doesn't do enough. It's 2v5. Here comes Chandelure. Overheat. On probably a potential switch. Into Reuniclus. Rest. Interesting play here on the Psychic. That does a lot of damage. This better be Sleep Talk. It's Snore. That doesn't do anything. It flinches. Here we go. More Snore. Does this flinch? It sure does. Waiting for it to wake up. Here we go. Snore, and it fails. And Psychic's going to take out Chandelure. It's 1v4 Ditto. Oh my gosh. Focus Blast miss. But it raises its speed. Calm Mind. Calm Mind. It's the Calm Mind games. Provided by Cookie and Avon. The stored power could be a problem. Calm Mind. Calm mind. This is where Psyshock comes in handy. Calm mind. Calm mind. Oh no. Calm mind. Recover. Psychic. It does a good chunk of damage. Red card! Oh! Red card ditto. Cookie with the skills. Cookie, red card ditto. Look at Cookie go. Congrats on Cookie. That was a heck of a game. I watched that and about peed my pants. And lastly, so that we're not covering UDL only, Flandersy versus Shuno. Ultra sad game here. I believe I showed this last week, but it's a week 3 game, so we're showing it again. Trick. Close combat. Close combat. Scarf. It's going to be switching to Savali Ghost here on the defog to get rid of screens. On the U-turn. Into Shuno not under... Well, you'll see what happens. So Flare Blitz does a lot of damage. On the soft boil. Switching to Savali Ghost on the soft boil. Watch this. Switching to Cicerena on the multi-attack. That does a good chunk of damage. Switching to U-turn. Lives on 3. Switching to Arcanine with the Intimidate. Smart play here. Power Whip. I'm liking the play here. I mean, he's scarfed, but he goes for the E-Speed. And due to wording that Shuno now understands, we could have won. I could be the only team that hasn't been defeated. And multi-attack lives on 6. So a live on 3, a live on 6. Flandersy, North Florida Knights picking up a win. That's all for your replays. Zorse is coming up next with an interview. And we'll catch you there. And we're back for the interview portion of this League Center, and we're joined by coach of CmdrYT FC, currently number 1 in UDL Season 8. We are joined by Zorse. How are you doing, Zorse?
How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Okay. Zorse's team is busted beyond belief. A team of Exegil, Poltergeist, Drakazolk, Gyarados, Arcanine, Whimsicott, Arachnid, Indeedee, Hitmonlee, and Gigalith. If you want to talk a little bit about your team.
Yeah, so it's funny you say it's busted because I've made more transactions than anyone else. I think I made 5 because I kind of hated my draft. So I initially had Drapion. I dropped that for Excelgor. I made 6 because I made another trade. So I don't think I'm a good drafter. I think my team here is pretty good because almost everything is really threatening and puts a lot of pressure immediately. Maybe the exception to that would be like Jigalith, Whimsicott, but everything else can just kind of nuke when it's in. And so my team just puts a ton of pressure. I think I had the 6th pick in the draft. And I know I picked kind of something boring. I picked Excadrill first, but usually the way I do things when I have in the first round is I just make a little power rankings of the stuff so if I'm picking 6, like I do a top 6, and I had Drill at 4, so it fell to me and I picked it. I think I had Gyarados at 6, so I ended up lucking out there. And then I picked stuff that I kind of wanted. I really wanted Poltergeist because when we started the draft, it was at the beginning of OU. And I use that thing all the time. And I really like Dracozold. I think it's really cool. And Gyarados. And so I didn't pick any of those for synergy. I just kind of picked them because I wanted to. And then I realized that Darmg is the thing. So I picked Arcanine. And then I realized that my team is super setup heavy. So I picked Whimsicott. I always wanted Arachnid because I love that thing. It's probably my favorite mon that I've used. And then the other stuff, like my last 2 mons, the Indeedee and Hitmonlee, those spots have been just a revolving door. I think I've had a Machamp, Excelgor, Drapion, Goodra, Bisharp, and Frosmith there.
Definitely lots of Pokemon this season. Is that something that, like, because we can see, or everyone will see, that you're runner up in season 2 and season 5? Is that something? Is this a common thing, or is this just
What
brand new
is
generation
what?
having so many transactions?
So in season 5, it was actually Walk's team, and we just kind of alternated the games. So I played in the playoffs, he played in the final. So I didn't really do any transactions there. And in season 2, my team was nasty. I didn't make any transactions. I think I'm just kind of a crap drafter, and it also didn't help. Like, I remember I picked, I was out of Mons for a really long time, like probably at least a year. So I was pretty out of the loop. But I really like how the team turned out. Like, I don't like relying on one thing, and I know I think I've got 5 Mons with over 5 kills. I have 4 in the top 10, so a lot of them are. I just have a lot of different threats that you kind of have to prep for. And I also try to counter team a little bit in my draft. It didn't really work that well because the biggest threat is Daddy, and he definitely I have a really hard time breaking his team, but for the most part, I think it did an okay job.
I'd agree with that. So speaking of Daddy, everyone would have just seen the conference lineup right now. What's your thoughts on the conference you're in right now? I mean, you're at the top, so obviously you're doing something right.
Yeah, knock on wood. And all it takes is I lose, my week 10 game, and then I'm not. So the conference is weird this year. Daddy is, as always, he's just a monster. He's the best player in the league. And Cookie's, reigning champion. He's having a really good year too. Apart from that, it's pretty top heavy. And I face my strongest opponents. I think the 5 other coaches that are going to make the playoffs are my first 5 games. So I've kind of had a little bit of a lull lately. I've had some kind of lopsided games. I definitely think the other conference this year, right, I think we got a little lucky because their conference is super strong. Really 1 through 8. I mean, or 10 or however many are in it. They're doing pretty well this year. But, I do think that we probably have the best player in ours, in Daddy. So that says something.
Okay. You were talking about your draft and some of the Pokemon you really like to use. What's your favorite Pokemon to use now in Gen 8 or this beta?
That's a good question because I don't really know the answer. I've had a ton of fun using. I like using things that just kind of click buttons and get kills. So I really like Araquanid. I really like that choice band. I really like Dracozolt because you have to prep for a hustle band, which I've run, and it's super fun. It just nukes. I really like Poltegeist too, but it's definitely it's 7-1, but I think it's only come 4 times. It's not really worth a second round pick because it has no coverage. So if your opponent has a dark type, you kind of can't bring it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or if your opponent has a good dark type, or if he's got one that's a dark type that resists grass, which is my other coverage move. So. Okay. In the past, I've really liked. I've kind of always liked little wall breakers or late game sweepers, things that I can preserve late in game. I really like Tapu Koko back in the day. I like offensive stuff. I get bored after 30 turns, so I don't like to click recovery. I don't like any of that stuff.
Okay, I would agree with that. So playoffs you're playoff bound if you haven't figured that out.
I did figure that out.
What's outside of Daddy, as you already covered, who else playoff wise are you concerned with?
Well, I don't want to face so it's tough because I think the 3 through 6 teams are going to be Cookie, Beats and Pry, and then Jay. And so I lost to Pry, but I think I can beat him again. I think I played terribly against him. I think I could beat him. I think I even have matchup. I just played horrible. The other coaches Beats, I probably shouldn't have beat. and Jay I beat, and then he made some transactions that, like, I swept him with Pulte, he had no answers to, and now he has a big counter to it. And Cookie, like, I dropped him on that beat him. And I also tend to think that in rematches, if a coach lost and they lost close, they have a huge advantage because they know, like, what their opponent is going to bring. So, I kind of would consider myself as a bit of an underdog in the playoffs, despite either being, having a bye. So really, I don't know. I don't really want to play any.
Okay.
I'm looking for. I would love to get to the final because that means I'll most likely have a rematch with someone who I haven't played, those are always fun.
Yeah.
I haven't played Pip in years. I would, my dream matchup would be like versus him, or you get revenge on Knight. But playing Pip would be really fun because he is just like easily the most creative coach.
Okay. And just to like end off the questions, because normally there would be people asking questions, but we're gonna try and get this quick. You mentioned at least in the
nobody wants to ask me questions. Nobody likes me. That's fine.
You mentioned in the UDL chat you were dabbling with some VGC stuff.
Yeah, I've only done I just started on the ladder, so I'm only around 13 or 1400. So I kind of stink, but it's pretty fun. It's cool because a lot of strategies that are clunky in singles, you can work, and it's new. It's something I've never done before, so I've had a little bit of fun poking around and doing that.
Okay, I figured.
Especially because I don't have a ton of time to ladder.
Yeah.
So. And it's also nice because I feel like teams can be more creative, and I don't think I'm a great battler. I think I'm just a really good builder in League, and you have to be creative. Or at least I am. I think I'm pretty creative in League, and in VGC you have to be creative. Whereas on League you can just, for the most, or in singles on ladder you can kind of just bring standard crap most of the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, thanks for coming on. As your match against Cookie just wrapped up. Any last thoughts before I introduce next week's coach?
No, I hope I didn't jinx myself by. Yeah, I hope none of my opponents are watching and they can get inside my mind.
Well, for next week, you're not going to have to worry about this, coach, because next week we're going to everyone's favorite dad. Nacho is joining us. He's going to talk about some nipples. He's going to talk about UDL subbing in. He's going to talk about Doug, everyone's favorite. And we will see him then. So that's all. My name's Commander. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please comment down below. And we will see you next week for some Nacho and the Detroit Rainbow Wings.